Welcome students. So in our last class we discussed about the means of transport and other transport of water through xylem. Okay, next uptake of minerals. We know minerals are absorbed from the soil by root hairs along with water. That is, the mineral uptake is through xylem. Okay, so the uptake of minerals, it takes place along with the water through xylem. But two conditions are there. First one is the mineral should be in their ionic form. The mineral should be in their ionic form. Okay, then next condition is the concentration of minerals should be high in soil. Concentration of minerals should be high in soil, so that through active transport the root hairs can absorb minerals. Okay, so the mineral should be in ionic form in the soil, as well as the concentration of minerals should be high in soil, so that through active transport plants can absorb minerals with the help of root hairs. Okay, so these absorbed minerals can be transported to different parts of the plant through transpiration pull. So along with water, the minerals can be transported through different parts of the plant body through xylem with the help of the process transpiration pull. Okay, so these are uptake of minerals. Then translocation of plant solutes. Translocation means transfer. Translocation. How translocation takes place? Minerals are remobilized from the older dying leaves to younger leaves. Okay, so minerals are transported from older leaves, that is older dying leaves to younger leaves. So the minerals are translocated from the older dying leaves to younger leaves. This phenomena can be easily seen in the deciduous plants. Deciduous plants. Okay, then there are two categories: easily mobilized and not remobilized. Easily mobilized minerals, not remobilized minerals. Easily mobilized and not easily mobilized. Then what are the easily mobilized minerals? Easily mobilized minerals are phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen and potassium. Phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen and potassium are the easily mobilized elements or minerals. Not remobilized is calcium. Okay, so minerals that can be easily mobilized and not easily remobilized. So this is translocation of mineral ions. Then next is phloem transport. Phloem transport. So through phloem tissues, what is transferring? Yes, food is transferring through phloem tissues. The food is prepared in leaves as a result of photosynthesis. As a result of photosynthesis. So, the food is transferred through phloem to different parts of the plant body. This is the structure of phloem. These are companion cells. This sieve tubes. Companion cells and sieve tubes. Okay, so this is the structure of phloem tissues. You will study detailedly in your higher classes. Okay. So, as a result of photosynthesis, food is prepared in the leaves. Food is prepared in the leaves. That is called source. That is called source. And the food is required to various other parts. Other parts. It is called sink. Okay. So, always the phloem transport food from source to zinc. From source to sink. It is a bidirectional movement. But in case of water transport, this is food transport. But in case of water transport, it is unidirectional. Okay, so as a result of photosynthesis, food is prepared in leaves. It is called source, and the other parts of the plant body which require food is called zinc. Always the food is transported from source to sink. So it is bidirectional. Bidirectional means, so suppose this is a leaf. So food is prepared from leaves, and this is the flower bud, and this is root. So the food it want to be transported to roots, as well as it want to be transported to the top or tip of the plant. So it is bidirectional. But in case of water transport, the root will absorb water and it will transport upwards to the different parts of the plant body. So only is single direction. That's why it is called unidirectional. Okay. So phloem transport is always from source to sink. Then translocation of sugar. Translocation of sugar. So, translocation of sugar means as a result of photosynthesis, glucose is produced. So, glucose is produced as a result of photosynthesis. It is converted to sucrose. Glucose is converted to sucrose. Why? Because only in the form of sucrose, it can be transported to different parts of the plant body. And the sucrose is moved to the companion cells. Sucrose is moved into the companion cells and from the companion cells, the sucrose is moved to the sieve tubes. From the companion cells, the sucrose is moved to the living sieve tube cells by active transport. By active transport. So, the prepared food, that is glucose, is converted to sucrose, and this sucrose is transferred to the companion cells in the phloem, and from companion cell it is moved to the sieve tube through active transport. Then from sieve tube, what will happen means, when this process takes place, it produces a hypertonic condition in phloem. So now the condition is hypertonic. What is meant by hypertonic? Hypertonic means the concentration of solute or sugar is more in the sieve tube. Okay, so as a result of hypertonic, what will happen means the water from the xylem, this is xylem. So water from the xylem is moved into the phloem. Water from the xylem which moves into the phloem and it becomes phloem sap. You understand? So as a result of this hypertonic condition in sieve tube, xylem which is present nearby phloem. Xylem which is present nearby phloem. So the water which is present inside the xylem is moved into the phloem. As a result, sugar plus water is present in the phloem. That is called phloem sap. So phloem sap means sugar plus water. Sugar plus water is called phloem sap. This phloem sap will transport to different parts of the plant. Transport to different parts of the plant. Different parts of plant. So what happens? The prepared food, that is glucose, it is transported to sucrose, and these sucrose is transferred to companion cells. When from companion cell, it is actively transported into the sieve tube. Now the phloem will become in hypertonic solution. So as a result of this hypertonic stage in phloem, water from the xylem is moved into the phloem. Now this sugar which is present in the phloem, it will dissolve in the water that is come from the xylem. So it together called phloem sap. So this phloem sap will transported to different parts of the plant body as a result of transpiration, pull and other process. Okay, so here when this water is moved into the phloem, there occurs a osmotic pressure. There occurs a osmotic pressure. Okay, so osmotic pressure is high in this phloem sap. So this phloem sap will move from high osmotic pressure to low osmotic pressure. So as a result of this hypertonic solution, hypertonic condition, the water which is present in the xylem, neighboring cells of xylem, it will move into the phloem. As a result, it will become phloem sap. This phloem sap will move from high osmotic pressure to low osmotic pressure. Okay, so here it is high osmotic pressure, so it will move to different parts of the plant having low osmotic pressure. So finally this phloem sap will reach the parts where it is required. Then what happens? This sugar will release into the cell where it is required. As a result, this hypertonic condition will be eliminated. As a result, again the water moves into the xylem cells. So again there occur a low osmotic condition. Okay, so this is happen in the translocation of sugar. Then finally, ascent of sap. Ascent of sap. Ascent of sap is the upward movement of water and minerals. Ascent of sap. Ascent of sap is the upward movement of water and minerals from roots to different parts of the plant body. It's the upward movement of water and minerals from root hairs or roots to different parts of the plant body is called ascent of sap. Okay, then what are the number of factors which play role in ascent of sap? We are going to look what are the factors or steps that is present in the ascent of sap. factors that plays a role in ascent of curve. First one is root pressure. First one is root pressure. We already discussed about all these things. Root pressure. So what is root pressure? Water from the soil enter the root hairs due to osmosis. Water from soil enters into the root hairs due to osmosis. So root pressure is responsible for the movement of water up to the base of the stem. So from the base of the stem, the water is moved to the tip of the plant with the help of this root pressure. Okay, so as a result of the actively absorption of minerals along with the water, these minerals are also actively absorbed in the root hairs. So due to this absorption, a pressure is exerted in the root. That pressure is called root pressure. Then next factor is capillary action. So due to the capillary force, the water from the root, it moves towards the tip of the plant due to the capillary forces. So water rises in a capillary tube because of the physical forces. The same phenomena is happen in the plant also. The stem water which rises up to certain height because of capillary action. So when we know several trees having large height, okay, so these roots that absorb water, as a result of these capillary or physical forces, these water which is absorbed in the root, it reaches the tip of the plant. Then adhesion cohesion of water molecules. What is cohesion? Cohesion is the attractive force between water molecules. So attractive force between water molecules. Attractive forces between the, so two water molecules are bind together through cohesive force. So cohesion means water molecules are attracted together or bind together through this cohesive forces. Then what is adhesion? Adhesion means not two water molecules, several other molecules and the system. Okay, the force of attraction between molecules of different substance. So attraction between molecules of different substance. Attraction between molecules of different substance are called adhesions. So root pressure, capillary action, cohesion, adhesion are the main factors that depends upon the upward movement of water and minerals from root to different parts of the plant. Okay, so these are about ascent of curve. So by this we are completing our chapter 14, that is transport in plants. If you have any doubt, you please ask me. So that's all about chapter 14. Thank you.